Oh, okay. So I have a couple of things I'm going to say here. Um, One is I'm getting strongly that soon people are going to start really standing up. And what that looks like is that everything that they have created to harm humanity is really being revealed. And so it's going to backfire. And those people are going to be very angry and really start doing what we've all been, asking of humanity to do, which is stand up and speak up. And I know that this has been gradually happening, but I feel it's going to just speed up. And even those that are part of this are going to start turning on each other. So what I'm seeing is that within their own, I don't even know what to call it, within their own group or community, they are having problems. They are having disagreements, and because things are falling apart for them, the tension and the pressure is so much that behind the scenes, everything is just chaotic and they've turned on each other, but they just have to keep this facade of, just keep pushing through with this because ultimately they're evil and they don't care. And their focus is laser beam on completing their mission. And even though it means taking out each other, at least they also completed the task that they intended to in the first place. I hope that made sense. So, in a nutshell, they're turning on each other, but also humanity has become so aware that everybody's finally coming together. Even the people who originally thought that administration was going to help humanity, they are now starting to see it. And that's why you're starting to see more doctors, nurses, everybody's really coming together, and they're starting to not only speak up, but I'm sure you guys have seen or are aware that there's lawsuits popping up everywhere. LAPD, I know, has a lawsuit and over the mandates. And I just came across another, who was it? I think doctors and nurses, the medical community. They have a lawsuit now that I can't remember if they said if it's. You guys have to do a little bit of your research, but the point is that people are standing up, they're speaking up, they're resisting, they're not going along with this nonsense anymore because they finally see that it was never about helping humanity. It was about controlling and hurting and really just trying to take out as many of us as they could. And so the other thing that is really having people just lighting their fire to just become empowered and speak up is that the minute they started attacking the children, that's when all the mama bears came out. And then that's when the papa bears also decided, nah, not my children's, not my cubs. And so if anything can bring us together, it's usually always the children. And that's where people are drawing the line. And so with that said and that in mind, I do feel this is going to happen, as I said in the last message. It's going to happen very quickly when it comes to a halt. However, it's also potentially going to cause more damage because what I'm seeing is like explosive. And I don't know if that means an actual explosion gonna happen or an explosion of damage, like something big. Um, and so that could potentially happen. So with that in mind, um, it is important that you continue your prayers. I know I say this every single time, but Creator is really asking me. It's putting it in my heart to always say this, and that's why I repeat it so much. I'm working here for the Lord and bringing these messages based on what He is showing me. And so what I see is that every time we come together in prayer, not only do we strengthen, our ability to stand firm in our sovereignty and just really, turn everything that's happening around, but we're also being anointed, is what I hear, anointed with God's protection and God's love that allows us to shine so brightly and give everybody else that energy and that hope that they need, because everybody, remember, is walking around in fear. And although most of the people are now aware, and they're adjusting, as I said the last time, they're adjusting to what's going on, they still need the strength of Creator. They still need that love and that hope and that guidance. So as we stay connected into our prayer, we are fed with that protection and that love and that light that we're receiving from Creator. And so it's important that we pray. The other thing that happens when we're praying is what I was shown. And there's a friend of mine, a soul sister, who we communicate constantly. She just sent me a message, and I'm not going to speak into her message because that's for her to share if she wishes. But one thing that she did say in her message is that she was shown portals, a lot of portals that are open. And as I was listening to her, what I picked up from that, so this is the part that I want to share, because as we share messages with each other, if you're intuitive, you guys know that then you might also receive other additional information or downloads. So as I was listening to her message and she spoke into the portals, what I was showing is that every time, and this is not her message, not her translation, this is my interpretation of what I received listening to her message. So this here is what I then received. Just want to make sure you guys understand that. So as I was listening to this and I see these portals, then what Creator showed me is that every time we pray, we're opening portals into the heavens, into Creator's realm. And so every time we do this, we allow that energy to come down and shine upon humanity. And this is what then shifts that vibration or that energy here on earth and allows everybody to ascend, as a group, because I hear unity. And so when our prayers continue to go up this way and to vibrate, it's really pushing out all that energy, all that love, because remember, our words carry vibration, and so do our feelings, right? Our feelings expand our heart energy, our heart chakra. And so every time we're praying and we're connected to God and we're receiving, it's like this whole cycle of receiving and giving out, because this is exactly what we do. We receive, we give out. So what I'm saying is, your prayers have been working, and again, continue to do them. What I'm seeing is, I'm seeing a lot of people on their knees. So either a lot of people are turning to God in prayer, and this is what we needed to do to begin with. Because I'm being shown just a lot of people just kneeling down throughout the world. And then I'm also being shown the lodge. So there's two things there. And so the lodge, for those of you who do not know, it's a sweat lodge. It's an indigenous way of prayer. It's also called a temescal if you're, Mexica for Mexico. And you go inside what is sealed off. And it's also a replica of, or not a replica, but I guess it's supposed to be a simulation as like going into the mother's womb. And so we go in there and we pray, and we're close to Mother Earth. So I'm seeing that. That's a place of prayer, place of healing. Um, and so either creator saying we need to do that, or more people are praying. And so, but I say we need to keep doing that, and we need to bring all of it back. So much so that I feel that if we all start praying on our knees constantly, this is going to shift even more. Why? Okay, this is the other part to it. Because when we are on our knees, and this is the thing, it brought me also back to a meditation. So it's not just on our knees. So it's like I don't even know what it's called. I don't want to. It's like a movement of, and I guess you can say that maybe yoga has different moves this way that I interpret, and I'm not a yogist, so I'm sorry if I'm butchering things, but I'm trying my best here. But what I was shown a long time ago, and you're on your knees right now. I'm sitting down, but just imagine like I'm on my knees on earth. And so you open your hands wide open, and you want to extend your heart open to the sky, to Father Sky, to Creator, to receive, right? And then you come back into child's pose. I think that's what it's called. And you put your head on Mother Earth, and you feed it back, and it's just continuing to cycle this way. And it kind of, what I'm seeing is that, as I spoke about the trees last time and how they're connected to earth and their roots continue to go out, this is the same concept, except we're doing this, right? We're also, because again, we're part of the all. And so it's the same type of idea. It's not even an idea, it's what I'm being shown, is that if we put our hands out and receive, and we're receiving so much, we're receiving grandfather son also, right? So we need that medicine, but we're also receiving God's love, God's light, and to our heart, and then we go back down and we give it to earth. Because remember, I said the last message, she also needs healing. And as I'm speaking this, it's literally coming in and making more sense to me. So this is why we give it back to earth, because she also needs healing. But then again, it's also going to vibrate throughout earth so that everybody else receives it. So the trees receive it, so that the animals receive it. And again, this is just another part of the process and the healing of humanity and earth, for us to get there a lot quicker, but also just to diffuse any possible explosions again. And again, I say explosions, but that can mean something explosive, not necessarily an explosion. But again, anything could happen. So the last thing I want to remind you is, if something were to happen, please remember to be calm. Please remember things will end up settling. So stay where you're at, stay protected, stay connected to each other by simply, if your phones don't work, then just stay where you're at. Let a day go by or a few hours go by, and then, but don't go crazy, because that will then trickle a panic effect, and we don't want that. We want to remain centered and allow each other to use our logical thought process and not fear, okay? Because this is what they've been pushing the entire time: fear, 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 fear. And that's what we don't want. We're shifting into a different time now, and we don't want to bring that energy with us. So as the world heals, so do we as individuals. So whatever we want to shift and change within us, this is the time. So with that in mind, I am still going to offer this Zoom healing. I haven't sent out any links, but I will. I have a ceremony coming up tomorrow, so I wanted to really focus my energy on the ceremony, but then I will for sure send out the link. So if you haven't requested to be added and you would like to be added, you still have time. Email me, ask, request to be added to the healing Zoom call, and I will add your name, and then I will send the link out with the day and time. I think that there was one other thing. Oh yes, I keep being shown for you guys to watch the videos back. I mean, you don't have to, but I guess there's something there that's going to help you guys, or just recapping is going to really remind you and boost your energy, your hopes, and also serve as a guide to navigate through these times. But also, I think it's going to just help you see that things have been happening as creator said they were going to be happening. So to give you that knowing that things will end up being okay, but it is going to require our effort and our work here, also our participation into making the changes and helping things shift a lot quicker by sharing the information, by standing up, by speaking up, and by staying in our prayer. Very important. I will also share a message that, that explains how everybody is still walking around with the coverings, even though they know they don't even want to wear them, because I spoke about that in that video. It was one of the very first videos. It's not up anymore because I deleted several of them, but I'll repost it even though it's an old one, and it's titled, or I talk about hypnosis, because it's really helping explain to you guys why it is people are still doing things that they don't want to do, and how they're conditioned, how they have been conditioned by the fear. And so I feel that by watching it again, it's going to help, it's going to click something within you to just be like, you know what, I'm done with this. And maybe even you hearing me say this will help you realize, like, wait a minute, I've been conditioned, I've been programmed, and I'm taking my power back, and I'm going to stop listening to the very evil, things that they want me to do, because that's contributing. Every time we do something that we know is wrong, that they're asking us to do, it's contributing to the evil and the destruction of humanity. So why are we still doing it, right? So hopefully it will empower you to take your own power back. So that's all for now. Again, send me your information, and I'll send you the link as soon as I have a date in mind of when I'll be able to do the healing. And again, it's going to be a Zoom live energy healing. Okay, till next time. I hope.